What are some of the worst cheap used cars and SUVs that you need to avoid? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Shopping for a good, cheap used car can definitely feel like navigating through a minefield. Although there are some pretty good options for used cars if you have a small budget of, say, under $10,000, there's definitely a lot of problematic, unreliable, and financially costly used cars and SUVs that you need to watch out for. So if you want to know what are some of the absolute worst used cars and SUVs that you need to avoid at all costs, then make sure to stick around to the end of this video. For this list, I'm going to be focusing on used cars and SUVs between around 2005 and 2015 that can be bought for under $10,000. Let's get started with my number 10 pick on the list, which is the Nissan Altima. If you're in the market for a spacious, mid-sized family sedan, the Nissan Altima might look like a really good option. Not only are they pretty spacious and practical, but they have pretty decent performance and fuel economy, and you can get them with some pretty impressive features too. Altimas also tend to be a lot less expensive than comparable mid-size sedans from other brands like Honda and Toyota, but don't be fooled because there is a very good reason for that. Older Altimas can have all kinds of expensive issues, the most significant of which has to do with the continuously variable transmission, also known as the CVT. Nissans have been using CVTs in place of conventional automatic transmissions for many years now, and unfortunately these transmissions have developed a reputation for being very problematic long-term and extremely expensive to repair. The failure rate of the CVT on the older Altimas is pretty high, and unfortunately most transmission shops are not able to obtain parts or rebuild these transmissions, which means you have to go for a brand new remanufactured unit, which can easily cost upwards of $7,000. The Altima, of course, isn't the only Nissan model that's known to have problems with its CVT. You can also experience these issues with the Pathfinder, the Rogue, the Sentra, and the Versa, all of which use the same CVT transmission. So if you're shopping for a used mid-size sedan and consider the Altima, you might want to consider something more reliable instead, like say a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord. You might have to spend a little bit more money to get one of the equivalent age and mileage, but it's definitely going to be worth it in the long run. Moving on to the next used cars on the list, which are any Hyundai or Kia with the 2-liter or 2.4-liter engines. Now these 4-cylinder engines have been used in a number of popular Hyundai and Kia models, including the Hyundai Elantra, the Hyundai Tucson and Santa Fe, the Kia Forte, the Kia Soul, and a few other models as well. Now although most of these cars are generally pretty good and many owners have had trouble-free happy ownership experiences with them, there are still some pretty significant issues to be aware of. The biggest problem has to do with a major safety recall affecting hundreds of thousands of cars with both the 2-liter and 2.4-liter engine that were produced between 2010 and 2021. Due to poor manufacturing methods, there have been many instances where these engines can potentially catch fire or completely seize up and fail altogether. The failure rate of these engines has been uncomfortably high, and there's been many instances where owners have had to get a complete engine replacement at the dealership. It's very difficult to pinpoint which particular models or batch of cars has a good engine and which ones have a bad engine that you need to avoid. And the problem with this recall is that not only does it span a huge amount of time, a period of around 10 years, but Hyundai and Kia don't have a permanent fix for the problem. The safest option then is that if you're considering a used car like a Hyundai Elantra or a Kia Forte that uses one of these engines, you're much better off buying something more reliable instead, like a Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, or a Mazda 3. Let's move on to car number 8 on the list, which is the Dodge Journey. Now Journeys can be a very tempting used buy for an affordably priced used SUV, but don't be fooled because there are some very good reasons why the pricing is so low when compared to other SUVs on the market. Not only do they not perform very well or have very good build quality, but they're also known for all kinds of reliability issues when it comes to the drivetrains, electrical systems, and pretty much everything else. The only thing the Journey really has going for it is the fact that it is one of the cheapest ways to get into a large 5 or 7-seater SUV for a very affordable price point. But if you're shopping for a used SUV, you're much better off spending a little bit more money and getting something much more reliable instead. Let's move on to number 7 on the list, which is the Chevrolet CRUZE. Now the CRUZE was introduced way back in 2011 as an alternative compact car to the Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla. While it may seem like a pretty well-designed car with decent performance and features, the build quality and reliability is nowhere near as good as other compact cars in the market. Early models of the CRUZE were known for all kinds of expensive reliability issues, especially when it came to the optional 1.4-liter turbocharged engine. This small but complicated engine can have pretty much anything go wrong with it. It's expensive to repair and is best avoided at all costs. If you're shopping for a CRUZE, your best bet is just to stick with the simple, naturally aspirated 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine, but the best thing to do really is just to buy something more reliable instead, like a Mazda 3 or a Corolla. The same could also be said of my number 6 picks on this list, which are the Volkswagen Jetta and Golf. Now the Golf and Jetta can look like pretty attractive used car buys thanks to their affordability and really attractive looking designs. Unfortunately though, Volkswagens just don't have a great reputation for long-term reliability in North America, and these cars can be very expensive to repair out of warranty. The Jetta and Golf, like many other Volkswagen models, are known for all kinds of reliability issues, including electrical problems, drivetrain problems, all of which can be very expensive to repair. So while they might look really attractive and affordable thanks to their low purchase price, there's definitely nothing affordable about the ownership costs. Let's move on to number 5 on the list, which is a pair of SUVs, the Chevrolet Equinox and the GMC Terrain. Both the Equinox and Terrain have been very popular crossover SUVs, and there's some very good reasons for that. They are pretty well designed with lots of great features, performance, and they're very practical SUVs as well. They also appear to have a lot of value on the used car market, where they can cost thousands of dollars less than other comparable SUVs. Unfortunately, there's some very good reasons why they are priced a lot less, and that has to do with their reputation for reliability, which is not very good. GM's compact SUVs are known for all kinds of serious reliability issues, the most significant of which have to do with the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine. This engine is known for all kinds of expensive issues on the older Equinox and Terrain models, including oil consumption and complete engine failure, which means that it is best avoided at all costs. There's all kinds of other serious issues that you can experience with these SUVs, which generally don't hold up very well over time. So if you're shopping for a good used compact SUV, you're much better off buying one with a better reputation for reliability, like the Toyota RAV4 or the Mazda CX-5. Moving on to number 4 on the list, which are the Ford Focus and the Ford Fiesta. Now it's actually a bit of a shame to have to include these cars on the list, because both the Focus and Fiesta are actually pretty well designed cars. Unfortunately though, both the Focus and Fiesta are known for some very serious reliability issues, the most significant of which has to do with the power shift dual clutch automated manual transmission. Now as the name implies, Ford's power shift is not a conventional automatic transmission. A dual clutch is basically a manual transmission with 2 computer-controlled clutches, which allow it to perform like an automatic. Unfortunately, these transmissions are not known to be very reliable. They can be very rough and jerky while driving, and they are known for total clutch failure and transmission failure as well. The problem with these transmissions is so bad that there's even been a major class action lawsuit in North America, and some owners have even reported having to replace their clutches or transmissions multiple times. So now if you see a Focus or a Fiesta on the market that's thousands of dollars cheaper than a comparable Corolla or Civic, now you know why. And if you're really dead set on buying one of these for your next used car purchase, do yourself a favor and just get one with a conventional manual transmission. Let's move on to number 3 on the list, which is the Mini Cooper. Now Minis are one of those cars that I find to be very deceiving because they can appear to be very affordable based on the prices on the used car market. Don't be fooled, however, because older Mini Coopers can cost a fortune to repair and own. Not only can they have all kinds of serious problems with their engines, transmissions, and electronics, but they are very difficult to work on and parts and labor are very expensive. Remember, Mini is owned by BMW, another company known for its expensive repair bills, and just because Minis become cheap and affordable on the used car market doesn't mean that they're affordable to repair. They may look really cute and fun to drive, but there's nothing cute about the ownership experience. So if you're just looking for a simple, reliable car to drive, your best bet is to look for something else instead. The same could also be said of the number 2 car on this list, which is the Fiat 500. Fiat re-entered the North American market back in 2011 with the 500, which initially was a very cute and attractive small affordable car, but quickly led to all kinds of serious issues down the road. Unfortunately, Fiat has long been known for not making very reliable or good quality cars in North America, and the 500 definitely lives up to that reputation. These cars can have all kinds of issues with their engines, transmissions, and electronics, and they're definitely not cheap or easy to work on. They also don't hold up very well over time because of their poor build quality, and they just don't age as well as other small affordable cars, like say a Toyota Yaris or a Honda Fit. So although they might look really attractive and fun to drive, there's definitely nothing fun about the long-term ownership experience. And that brings us to the number one car on this list, which is pretty much any high-end European luxury car. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at a BMW, Mercedes, or Audi. If you're shopping for one of these cars on the used car market with a small budget of say under $10,000, you are most likely going to run into some very serious and expensive reliability issues. It's very easy to get lured into these cars on the used car market because they tend to trade for some very low and attractive prices, but there's a very good reason for that. Many European luxury cars, including BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, can become expensive reliability nightmares, and just about anything that goes wrong on these cars can cost four figures to replace. The cost to repair for these cars can easily exceed what you spend on the price of the car in a very short amount of time, and it's very easy for one of these cars to leave you in a total financial mess. So if you're shopping for an affordably priced used car, there's no question about it, these are the ones that you want to avoid the most. Let me know what you thought of the cars on this list, and if you want to make any recommendations for future car videos, just leave a comment below. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at some of my other car videos by taking a look at these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, you can take a look at carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.